Welcome back to part 2 of the Blessings Bar with Lincoln and Ashley. It's been a fun ride so far, so let's go ahead and finish the conversation so we can learn more about these two servant powerhouses. Good for you guys. Ministry is tough. Ministry is really tough, and we, like you said, we don't want to downplay the 1 and 2 that come to Christ because, man, that is
a miracle. Yeah,
glory.
Praise God.
Yeah, and it's like, and that was a tough part of ministry for me too. Is like we see a lot of people. And we talk to a lot of people, and then we send them away just trusting in faith that God's going to, because we can't grow that seed.
Yes, no.
We can only plant it and water it. And it's hard when those seeds walk away and you're trusting the faith of God. And you wish you could be there to see it. I mean, that's selfishly, you want to see that seed grow, and maybe we will. Maybe we'll be blessed with something like that. And maybe you guys have seen that too. But it's hard when you're out there in the harvest field spreading seeds.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I hope you grow. Man, I hope you grow.
Yeah, and it is like, I would say, like, even us attending Gateway Church, like, a lot of times, like, we bring students with us.
Yes,
like, when they're like, where do you go? We're like, well, we go in Finley. It's half an hour away, but we'll drive you there, and different things like that. But it is sometimes people are coming and they're new Christians, or they're not Christians, like, but they're kind of there and here and listening. And so there is, like, we have high emphasis in view of the local church as well. And even for us, it puts our role in perspective, because we can get caught up in, like, we only have students for 4 years and then they're gone. And, like, what will happen, But it's just like, man, it isn't our role to, graduate finished products. Man, that's a part of what the church's aim is in the process of sanctification and in the growth of a believer. And so we do want to model church like for students, but also like for that to be a part of our own spiritual growth as well. And so, man, we really enjoy and love Gateway that we get to attend, but also how so many students have gotten plugged into serving and Kidway.
And they bring a lot. You bring a good dozen students, and it's awesome.
It's fun.
Man,
and you can, especially when Ashley's on stage. I mean, they go crazy for you.
I think some people, like, push that a little bit too in, where they're like, hey, you should come to church this night. Ashley's going to be singing. I'm like, guys, stop doing that.
So how is that? Let's stop singing. You have an incredible, like, Blanca-type voice.
I don't know what that means.
We'll discuss it later. Look at me getting musical on you.
Yeah, I'm good type.
I mean, how is that for you? How do you connect with that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say for myself personally, like, music has been always, I feel like, a part of my life in some aspect. And even I would say, like, before becoming a Christian, like, when I was in church services, like, the worship was always an aspect that I really connected to, and just, like, listening to the lyrics. And even there would be some points where I'm like, this isn't true of my life, or, man, I want this to be more true of my life. And especially, like, when the music is pertaining to the Word of God and different things like that. So as far as the gifting aspect goes, it's like, man, there's nothing that I could have done to, like,
just being up on stage really isn't your... Like, you love the worship, you love the music. Yeah. Just maybe being in the spotlight isn't
and so I'd say, like, my hands get, like, really clammy and things like that. But I just, as much as I can, I think for me it's been, one, just taking a beat before going on stage. And even for me, taking time to pray, one, that I wouldn't let the gifting that the Lord has given me be something that I like boast in. And that can be, I would say, like, can be hard because people are really very kind, like, after the service and things, or will approach me in different instances. And so I really have to, like, fight up against, like, that pride that wants to be like, man, you're right, I did really good
I rocked that stage
this Sunday and I worked really hard. But for it to be like, man, I do, man, pray that the Lord uses it and for His glory, and that even through, like, we do worship nights sometimes, like, on the college campus, like, through the ministry. And there was, like, a guy who would come and wasn't a Christian, and, like, later became a Christian, and one of the things that he said that was really like pivotal for him was he was like, I came to a worship night. And so it's just like the Lord using things like music to
That's cool.
draw people to himself.
Yeah.
And so I know like everyone that attends church on Sunday are in a variety of different places. And so I think it is a prayer that the Lord would use something that is beautiful and lovely to just people's ears, and that he would use it to draw them like either deeper in their walks with him, or draw them to himself for the first time, you know. And so
cool. Speaking of lovely and beautiful, Lincoln, why don't you tell me about how you met Ashley?
How we met. Well, college ministry is a part of that, but she grew up in Indiana.
Indiana, go Irish.
Right.
Who's yours?
Oh, okay. I was wrong.
Yeah, right. So she graduated from USI, University of Southern Indiana.
In Evansville.
And then decided to come to Bowling Green to work for the ministry at BGSU. Yeah, hi Ziggy, you know. And I was getting ready to graduate. But we're both Christians at this point. Okay. And I wanted to do ministry full time. That was what I thought God was calling me to.
Cool.
So there was a season of, while we knew each other kind of by profile, had been introduced a few times, but we didn't really know each other super well. But then we came and we started working on the same team. And even before we were working on the same team, there was just different leadership roles that I had as an older student that I would be spending time with Ashley. And when I did graduate and start working on that team, we were the only two single people at the time. So
people were plotting.
Yeah, there were people plotting.
They're like, "What do you think about Lincoln?" I'm like, "I mean, he's cool." Like,
and
then you put a ring on that finger.
Put it on there. Yeah, you're right. But in spending time, I just got to see more of who she was. You know, cool. Not just what she could do for God, but what her heart was. And I think really what made me want to pursue Ashley was that I knew, number one, man, this girl is going to follow Jesus even if I'm not.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
That's something I really admired about
straight,
her.
Right?
And you see some very wishy-washy type faith on the college campus that you hear. But I knew she was madly in love with Jesus. And that's something I really admired. And I just thought to myself, man, this could be a cool journey of marrying her if she said yes to it. So we started dating, so cool. And had ups and downs for sure. But God's brought a lot of blessing through it.
Yeah, a strand of three is awesome. Not easily broken, right?
It's not. She even had to have some sit-down conversations with me, some coming to Jesus moments.
But I'm just kidding.
We're not going to get into that. Maybe this is encouraging, as I don't know who exactly your audience is, but I imagine it's a lot of people. Right.
Just the world.
Yeah, a lot of this year I spoke at one of the worship nights that Ashley was talking about, and afterwards a guy came up to me and he said, "You are not going to remember me, I'm almost positive. But you sat down with me 5 years ago in the lunchroom randomly, and I had no idea who this weird guy is who's sitting there." And he said, "I rejected you and God to your face at that point in time. But 2 years ago I became a Christian, and my life has drastically changed. And seeing you up on that stage, I just had to tell you how thankful I am for what you did and the seed that you planted, because God is really faithful. And in my arrogance to neglect it and reject it.
And look at the joy you have now. Right, you've told this story I don't know how many times probably.
Yeah.
Right? And
yes, it's really
look
cool
at the joy
story.
that's the Spirit moving.
So as you go forth, and whoever's hearing this, the world goes forth and tries to talk about Jesus.
BGSU. Come check out Campus Outreach.
Yeah.
Come check out Lincoln and Ashley.
Yeah.
It is such a cool ministry, such a great way to get kids plugged into Christ, or at least to have that fellowship community with others is a big deal in your college walk, in your faith walk, and as you grow into adulthood and you grow into other scarier events in your life that you need Jesus. Yeah. And maybe you'll even find a wife. Who knows?
Maybe the Lord knows.
But
ask him.
That's the only person.
Pray to him. Ask him. Take your prayers to God. Man, it's so cool that you guys came by. What a great interview. I appreciate you guys. This is the part where it gets weird because I say, "Oh man, what was that?" Yeah. Holy crap! Do you have any idea what's coming right now?
No idea.
It's snowing outside, but there's a storm a brewing right now. It's time for the lightning round. You guys doing good.
Unexpected.
I was so taken off right there. Let's go, lightning rounds.
First answer that comes to your head, as quick as you can. Tell me what you're thinking. I love these questions. Ready? Question number 1, Lincoln. What's the one item you always keep close by?
Probably my phone. I mean, that doesn't go very far.
My phone? No, that's
Yeah.
fine. I know, because it's always buzzing, right?
I wish
Yeah.
it wasn't true. I wish it wasn't.
Yeah.
That's probably true. My phone's
It's
probably
all for the ministry
closest
and the family.
item.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally,
Family's a
totally.
ministry, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, question number 2. What TV show would you want to be in? It looks like you were going to answer
Man.
that question because you thought I was going to ask it in a different way.
Yeah. I guess like The Office. I don't know. I
You would
don't
be
know.
good in The Office.
I think that'd be funny. I
What
think it'd
character? What character would you be though? Would you be like a Dwight Schrute, or would you be like a?
I couldn't be a Dwight. I have more Andy Bernard.
Oh,
like,
I could see
tendencies.
that for sure.
But I
Forgot about the
could-
Nard
I-
Dog.
I would hope to think that I'm not nearly as abrasive as Andrew Bernard.
You're
So
a
we'll
softer,
see.
kinder
Yeah.
Andy Bernard.
Yes.
Okay.
She loves that.
All right. Last
Andy
question
Bernard.
for you, Lincoln. Question number 3. If you could make the ultimate sandwich, what would be on it?
Oh man! So there's actually a sandwich in Bowling Green at the Amish deli that was called the garbage can. That was mine. So I'm just
Everything
like
was on it, I'm guessing?
Throw it all on
Yeah.
there. Definitely gonna be some pickles. I'm like a mustard and mayo as like my main. Don't put ketchup on a sandwich. I'm not a
Interesting. It's
ketchup
almost like
guy
you're from Chicago or something.
on a sandwich.
Yeah. They don't need.
But I
Ah,
want,
yeah, I know what
yeah,
you're
I
saying.
want like capicola. I want like all the cold cuts.
Yeah.
There.
All right.
If it's a that type of sandwich, I'm more of a big sub guy though, so I'd probably want
You
more
just
of a
want it
sub.
all, right?
I want to give it all.
You
Give
want it all.
there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good answers. Ash, you ready?
Man, I'm stressed.
She wasn't pitting out until now. All right, here we go. Your first question. What is your go-to movie when you need a mood boost?
The first thing that popped into my head was, and I don't know why, because I don't go to this movie anymore, but I think it's hilarious, is Napoleon Dynamite.
It is funny.
She has not watched that in at least 6 years.
Give me some of your tots. And I love tater tots.
Way to work that in.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
love
My-
it, though.
My
I
cheeks
love
hurt.
it.
All right, second question. What is your favorite guilty pleasure song or artist?
Oof. A guilty pleasure song or
This has got to be so tough for
artist.
you.
This is very difficult.
Because you love
Such a
music.
vast amount
Yeah.
of.
Even I'm trying to think of like what artist do I just listen to a ton, and I don't think there is even one that I'm like
Really?
is just always something different, and I love finding new music, so I feel like I'm constantly just
So what kind of, are you more of a slow
All of it.
kind of?
all of it.
So you
yeah.
can't even answer like, well,
yeah.
just give me music.
Yeah,
If I need a mood boost,
exactly.
give me, like, is that kind of where you go for comfort? Like, is music
Yeah.
a comfort thing? Okay.
If you guys want a hilarious plug, Ice JJ Fish, Something About Your Girl would be hilarious.
Lincoln
So if you
should have
haven't seen
been
that.
Last
Yeah.
solo
given
question for you, Ash. Do you like pineapple on your pizza? Make a case. Why or why not?
I would say that when I buy pizza, I'm not buying pizza with pineapple on it.
Okay.
But if it's there or someone asks, like, hey, can I order this? I'm like, yeah, go for it. I'll eat it, but I'm just not buying it.
Questions.
personally.
Ashley hates it when I'm like, would you rather do this or this?
Yeah.
hates to make a
When
choice.
things are pit, like, he
She
like
hates that.
loves
So-
rating. And so anytime we're like out and I'm
Yeah.
like eating something, he's like, how would you rate it? And I'm like
I'm not redoing that.
what is the standard
Five.
of the rating?
Every
like
time.
it's everyone has a different standard of it, and so I base it on like I'm either gonna eat it again or I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So
so
it's
it's
like,
like,
it's
would
yes
I
or
get
no?
it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd eat it again.
This is her
Would it
response.
be, or I may say like, if I came here again, I'd try something different.
Yeah, you
Okay.
do use that.
Instead,
Okay.
yeah.
It is okay,
Or
not
like, no,
mind-blowing.
I'm not telling my friend when they say, "Hey, what have you got?" I'm saying, "Hey, I've gotten this, but don't get it."
Stay away from
Yeah.
XYZ. Yeah. All right. Number 7, and the most important question I'm going to ask you all day long. You guys ever watch Star Wars?
Big
Yes.
Star Wars guy.
Okay, here we go. Thank goodness, because this would be really weird if you
Yeah.
didn't. If Darth Vader offered you a hug, would you accept it?
No. No.
She's thinking. Wheels are spinning. She's
You know what?
questioning.
Well, I will say I hate hugs.
Yeah, well, we know.
But, you know, sometimes I think people, even if you don't enjoy hugs. Like, sometimes people just need a hug.
Amen, sister.
And you know when they need
That's
one.
what I'm talking about.
And you're like, this dude's just been going. He didn't been through some things. Like, maybe he just need a hug. But
Lincoln's
you know,
walking the other way.
there also are psychopaths, and he is one. So, as a smart person,
no, you're second guessing yourself.
as a smart
now.
person, no,
You've
because
already
you're
made
like,
your
oh,
choice.
he
You're gonna
needs
die.
one, but I'm not gonna be
Maybe.
the one to give it.
Maybe.
But like, am I gonna take like a
what if he's
5%
like
chance
What
that
if
I
he's
might
like
die?
Saul and he becomes Paul?
It's like,
what if
should
he's
he
like
have
Darth?
one? Absolutely. Will it be by me? Absolutely not.
You could change Darth Saul into Darth Paul.
Yeah, right. It depends on which Darth Vader you're talking about too. Is this like after he reconciles with Luke, or is this like?
Oh, he was an emotional mess after
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah,
could've
He
given that
needed a
guy
hug
He
then.
needed a hug.
given that guy.
Amen.
Or
That's
just a
what-
little pat.
You see how I hit- I hope Lincoln and Ashley's faith walk impacts your life and encourages you to be the hands and feet of Jesus in your community, your school, your house, wherever it is. I hope their story sparks your story. And until our next episode, remember to love God and love people.